Welcome back to my channel. My name is Belle and this is the Belle Perspective, and today we're going to be reviewing Love and Marriage Huntsville, the reunion part 3. On this channel, we do a lot of things. We review TV, we review movies, we review books, and a whole lot of other things. So if you want to be a part of the growing channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. Get in the comments and talk to me. Let me know what you think about my commentary and also what you think about the show itself. Your perspective. That's the perfect place to give your opinion and your perspective. The other thing I want to shout out is also LITuations, which is my free, completely free, no obligation. But anyway, LITuations, get down in the description box. More information about that. It's completely free. If you want to join the conversation, you absolutely can. And that is all I've got for housekeeping items, right? Let's get into this review, okay? Starts off where Destiny and Kimmy are still kind of going back and forth. I really don't care about that conversation. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, okay? Actually, let's hit up all the things I don't care about first. Tiffany having a baby. You know, every child's a blessing, but I really could care less because Tiffany and Lewis both were able to not be on the reunion for 2 whole episodes and no one cared. So Tiffany's having a baby. She's 4 months pregnant, probably 6 or 7 months pregnant now at this point. Congratulations, but y'all really didn't need that, but whatever. So those are all the things I don't really care about. Okay, so let's get into Destiny and why first of all, Destiny, I be fighting for you in the comments, okay? So Twitter is a very, very, very vicious place, all right? I am literally windmilling the girlies in the Twitter spaces trying to defend Destiny because I somewhat like her, okay? But Destiny, you're making it really hard out here for a pimp, okay? Destiny, Carlos asked Destiny, where's Moses? Why did he not show up? Oh, due to unforeseen circumstances. Destiny, you are on a reality show. Why are you not trying to be open about your life? If you want to be private, stay off television, okay? Girl, open up or get off the show, period, okay? And I really like you, but you need to figure that out. You really do. Okay, so Destiny and Mel's relationship. So Carlos asked Mel what happened to their relationship. Mel responds by saying it was an interview that Destiny had, and she basically was giving misinformation. And in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, now wait a minute, Mel, flag on the play, because in the beginning of the season, you were saying that you overheard Destiny talking trash about you to Tisha at the reunion last year. So now it's no longer her talking trash about you. Now it's Destiny giving wrong information. Now, I also like to point out the fact that it's interesting that Mel's show keep up with people's interviews. For people people on Twitter, the Mel'S will fight me constantly, telling me that Mel don't worry about these people when she's not on the show. Everybody's jealous of Mel. Da da da. But for somebody who is not concerned or not worried about what any of her castmates are doing on this show, why in the world is she always watching their interviews and logging it for when she's got a problem with them? Destiny brings that up. She said, now wait a minute, no, because you said that you overheard me and Tisha talking about you, which you've never said. You still have, to this day, and I said this too, to this day, we have no idea what Mel overheard. Right? So then Carlos breaks in and says, Destiny, were you talking about Mel? You know, after the reunion, she said, no, I need to know what exactly did you hear, Mel? And Mel's like, we've already had this conversation. And I'm not bringing this up. That was her way to jump over the question and not answer it. Okay. She basically tells her, Destiny says, listen, I'm not about to let you play in my face. Mel says, I'm not playing in your face because I don't even talk to you, sweetie. I was like, wow. Now that's what would have made me jump up out my chair, because I would have jumped. I would have tried to keep myself together, but I probably would have jumped up out my seat at that point, because that, again, Mel is not a good friend. Fight me in the comments. I don't give a damn. Mel is not a good friend. Mel is going around telling people, she also, and I do remember this, Mel is going around telling people that Destiny was working with business-wise that they have issues in their relationship, and, you know, I wouldn't trust the snake. We'll get to that in just a second, and I believe that Mel was doing that. So Tisha pipes up, and I'm like, Tisha, shh, this ain't you, girl. This ain't none of your business. This is one of the time. These are one of the times where Tisha can sit down and be quiet and not say a word. Okay, this is not your pipes up and says someone needs a storyline. Tisha, please be quiet. I fight for my life on Twitter to try to defend Tisha and to try to defend Destiny, and not because I'm fans of theirs, but because I see what's happening on both sides, and there is blame to be had on literally both sides. Tisha says, I that's not true. We were not talking. So Carlos asked Tisha, were you talking trash about Melody at the reunion last year? And Tisha was like, no, I was telling Destiny that you need to reach out to your friend because Mel looked really sad after the reunion, and I will give you that. I believe Tisha when she says that because that Mel did look sad. The foolishness that Carlos was talking about, coleslaw being maybe a restaurant, and it was just a whole lot of foolishness and bringing it up again, and it was so fresh, and it was just a whole lot of mess. And so I can see Mel looking really sad. And so Carlos asked Mel, do you believe her? Mel was like, I absolutely do not. I don't believe. And Tisha was like, that's fine. You don't have to believe me. You are a dark soul. You got a dark soul. I was like, Tisha, like, just be quiet, girl. Just hush. Now, Mel, you plotted to ambush the girl on TV, right? Ambush the girl and bring some woman who was gonna say that she was sleeping with her husband. That's pretty evil. And sit back and watch it. Like, pretty much sit back and watch it blow up, right? For you to also, what Mel also do? Bring her cousin, who they have a strained relationship, so that her cousin can talk trash about her on national TV. That's also pretty messed up. That's pretty messed up. You did all that. You did all those things. Tisha, I don't think you should have said that. That just kept that to yourself. So Destiny brings up the whole money situation. So apparently on Carlos's nightcap, Mel was feeling herself, and she was basically saying, I went over to Destiny's house. I saw a light bill attached to her door. Her lights were out. I gave her $5,000-$6,000. Again, it was implied that you paid her bills, Mel. And so Mel was like, I never said I gave you that money to pay my bills, to pay your bills. Mel, if you mention this girl's lights were off, and then I gave her $5,000 to $6,000 in the same sentence, Mel, you're a smart woman. You basically tried to paint the picture that Destiny was poor, broke, and needed you, and that you pretty much helped her. But see, here's where this is another part where I be looking at Mel sideways. Ma'am, if you're a true friend, then all you do, if you did that kind of thing when you were a friend with for somebody, you don't need to talk about it. You don't need to bring it up on Mad Day, spilling somebody's tea, saying all this foolishness. What you need to do is just chalk it up and say, you know what, that person did me wrong. After all I've done for them, that's fine. I know how to handle them 10-foot pole, right? I know how to handle them long handle spoon. Now Mel is backpedaling and coochie popping, basically saying, I never said I helped you with your bills, but that was implied, Mel. That was absolutely implied, and you absolutely know that that's the truth. And I wish that Mel would just be honest. The reason why you and Destiny do not talk anymore is because she still kept a relationship with Martell. Had she cut Martell off like you wanted her to, you would still be friends with her. But Destiny said, I can't cut Martell. I've known Martell since I was 15 years old. To cut him off would also mean I would need to cut you off as well. And it doesn't make sense. And I'm like, Destiny's right. You literally wanted her to cut Martell off, and you didn't, and so you cut her off and blackballed her, which is insane to me. I don't understand. Anyway, so they start talking about Destiny and Martell's relationship, and I'm telling you, the millimeters swear up and down that Destiny and Martell have something going on. I truly don't believe so. I may be wrong. I know how snakish Martell is, but I really don't think so. I remember watching Destiny and Mel seasons prior, and and as a woman, if you ever feel like another woman, the friend of your man, is fooling with your man, you're not going to be all best friends with her. You're going to keep a good eye on her. right? And you're gonna be cool enough with her so no alarms go off. But you're not about to be chummy with her and be BFFs, because I truly thought that her and Mel were like gang, okay? I really did. And you could tell that Destiny really truly cared about Mel. Just, I don't see it. Mel says, yeah, I always thought it was interesting how they had a relationship, here I have my husband, and here she goes calling him at 1 and 5. The other week she called him at 1 a.m., 5 a.m. Now, wait a minute. And I'm gonna plug this into, and I hope I don't get a copyright. I'm gonna plug this into the video. She said the other week Destiny called him around 1 a.m., 5 a.m. Mel, how did you know that Martell got a phone call from Destiny the other week when y'all are divorced?
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, why is she giving him all this combo? I don't know. She was calling him she was calling him the other week at like 1 in the morning and 5 in the morning. So
the other week?
I don't really care.
So they start talking about phone hacking and things like that, because Destiny pretty much said, oh, that time when you hacked Martel's phone, Melody looked up and was like, oh. The same face that her mama gave when they asked about Mark. See, I'm clocking your tea, girl. I'm clocking you, girl. That same face that Miss Van gave everybody when they clocked her tea about visiting Mark and driving down and sharing and living and being in his house. Not living in his house, but going to drive 5-6 hours to go see about Mark. That's that same face that Mel gave when Destiny pulled her card and clocked her tea. Same face. She ain't say nothing. She just got all quiet and was like, oh no, I didn't hack his phone. But I know he tried to hack my phone in reverse. Okay, so let me just break down what happened, because there was a lot of chatter going on between the two parties, Destiny and Martell and Melody. What happened was Martell so silly he probably don't even know, but Mel probably had access to his phone and was able to have the phone lines forward if Martell didn't answer a call, right? Forward my call. If I don't answer, forward this number, forward all these calls associated with this number to this number. So basically what she probably did, and what I'm thinking, because there was a lot of chatter between the two parties, I feel like she got his phone number forwarded, right? Her number forwarded. So all the calls that he missed were forwarded to her line, and she could see who was calling, etc., etc. Carlos kept asking, how do you know that he called? How do you know that she called? How do you know? She didn't answer. She didn't answer. She didn't say nothing. I'm just like, Mel, you duck and dodge all the time, make up things, do all kinds of things, but then when somebody holds your feet to the fire, you have no answers, you don't know what's going on, you got an attitude, you dodging the questions. It's crazy. It's crazy. So then Mel and Martell, again, they're going back and forth. Mel basically says, do you want to reconcile your friendship? Destiny basically says no immediately. Now, I know good and well that Destiny would absolutely want to reconcile their relationship, but I think that there's been too many things that have happened between the two of them that, have made it not easy. And I really feel like it's been the fans. Millimeters are crazy and delusional. Like, are you kidding me? You mean to tell me any other day that a woman who's planned to ambush someone and tell them that their husband is cheating on them is okay? In what world? Like, if her husband is cheating on her, it's going to come out. If her husband is cheating on her, let that be her decision to make, whether she wants to stay or go. Because Mel had 2 chances and we saw it, right? When the season first started, the show first started, Mel was the one that told us that he cheated on her and the girlfriend called and all this other stuff, and she stayed then. Then the fool messed around and he found out that she was having a baby or some foolishness, and then she had a baby too. She had twice. So when she first found out about the girl, she stayed. And I think there was another thing that happened. She found out he was still talking to her. She stayed. So all of that opportunity that she had to leave, she stayed because that's her husband. That was her marriage. Nobody should be forcing you about your stuff. That's something that's personal and private that you need to figure out on your own. I laughed at Stormy's face the whole time. She literally was like, oh. She heard about Mel hacking the phone. She heard about Destiny. Just all the foolishness that was going on. Stormy was just like, Mel calls Martel's shoes ugly. and the and the camera pans down to his ankles, some ashy ankles. Ooh, I said, ooh, Martel. So Carlos asks Stormy, what do you think about everything that's going on? Stormy's like, listen, my name been in and I ain't in it, okay? I don't know nothing about this. This between them and them, okay? She ain't say all that, but that's my interpretation. She basically was like, listen, I haven't had any issue with Mel. We're good. Martel pipes up and says, listen, retreat now, because she only wants you to use you. And I'm just like, Martel, I know you don't. I know you ain't fixing your mouth in your ugly shoe. I know you not fixing your mouth to say nothing. I know you not fixing your mouth to say nothing. Martel, you need to pipe down. Start to talk about, Carlos brings up the relationship between Martel and Mel. I'm going to wrap this up in 5 seconds. Not 5 seconds, but I'm going to wrap this up real quick. Carlos, this man cheated on this woman relentlessly. He has been cheating on her since the beginning of their marriage. When Melnica came to Melody, but months before they even got married, telling her that there is a woman that he's been trying to get with. There have been flags, red, green, purple, and blue, flying everywhere, okay, with Martel. Martel is the type of man that is tore up and insecure on the inside. And he is the type of man that whether you are home cooking, cleaning, barefoot, and pregnant all day, he's still gonna find a way, an excuse to cheat on you, okay? There is no remorse for him. I don't know why they had this whole crying breakdown. I was looking like, why are y'all crying? Carlos, why are you crying? Because he literally did not care. He literally did not care. And to this day, the only reason why he has so much animosity and anger towards Mel is because she had the sense enough to get up and leave him. That's the only reason why Martel is mad, and he is talking to Mel like, how dare you leave me? You are supposed to sit here and be mistreated. That literally is what Martel's problem is. And I don't know why we was in here crying. I wouldn't give him nothing. I wouldn't give him nothing. Okay? Not nothing. All right. Carlos also brings up the whole thing about custody and how Martel's trying to fight for custody. I'm just like, I don't know why we're crying. Which, by the way, Mel, why were you crying? Why were you sitting here crying for a man who disrespected you to no end? No end. And you're crying for the perfect marriage. Your marriage was not perfect. Your marriage was trash from the beginning. Okay. And you just stuck around long enough because, that's what you thought was the right thing to do for whatever outward pressures, inward pressures, whatever those things were. You made your decision, stick around as long as you did. But baby, that was not the perfect marriage. Sweetheart, that man was broken before you even picked him up off of the side of the road, and where you should have let. And now that you've been relieved of him, girl, leave him where he at and don't shed not nary tear. Okay? They bring up the whole custody battle because now Martel is still in his how dare you leave me mode, right? So now he is fighting to take away custody from Mel, which is insane, saying that she's got too many babysitters and all these people watching my kids. Now, mind you, Martel, you said you had no problem with Sheree, a woman you don't even hardly know and just started dating. You have no problem with Sheree being someone who's going to be around your kids, but Marcus, who is their blood uncle, her brother, cannot be around the kids. You don't want men around your children. Let me just tell you something right now, Martel. Anybody can be a sicko with kids, okay? There's absolutely anyone. And we have record of both men and women being sickos with children, okay? So don't just single it out and say men. What you want to say is that you don't want your son around their uncle who just so happened to be gay and his husband. Say that. And I know you won't say it because Carlos King is gay, and a lot of the women and the men on this a lot of the fans are either gay black men or black women, and so you know that will cause all kinds of issue. But Martel, you're not fooling nobody. You are homophobic, and we see right through you, and it is ridiculous. And quiet as it's kept, I'm side-eyeing Mel because Mel, how have you been married to this man for so long and you talking about you know he was homophobic? Ma'am, you knew. Y'all knew. Y'all see each other. Y'all knew each other, okay? But back to Martel, because he the one that's going to be on, who's in the hot seat right now. Martel, how in the whole wide world, how couldn't give me. He could be on fire and I wouldn't spit on him. I couldn't. So, wrapping up real quick, they talk about Kimmy and her journey. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but I'm just again saying that I'm so proud of Kimmy and I think that she is wonderful. Sending healing energy, positive energy to both Maurice and Kimmy. I don't have anything else to say about that, and that's that on that. I don't want. She's absolutely beautiful. She's always been beautiful, and I know her story is going to touch other people. And then I also thought it was really interesting that Carlos King's mother also suffered with what she's got going, her condition right now, and she ended up transitioning. And I was just fighting the tears. With all of that being said, get down in the comments and let me know what you think about the reunion. There's blame to be had on both sides, okay? Tisha, you should have just piped down. You should have been quiet. Martell, you should definitely pipe down, okay? And gather yourself with all these double standards that you got. You trying to control that lady, and it's sickening. Mel, now you know good and damn well you basically Nicki Minaj'd her. Basically, if you don't do what I say, then I'm gonna make life hell for you. Basically, is what you did, Mel, and you know you did that. Marceau ain't shit, and he ain't worth it. And Tisha girl, I hope you realize that at some point. Destiny, open up, girl. I don't trust this little Moses boy, but we gonna see about him. I don't really trust Destiny's judgment. It's not really that great. Hasn't been that great, and so we'll see. I hope Tiffany and Louis go on because we tired of them. I'm tired of them. They didn't matter this entire season. I hope that Tiffany goes to sit down and raise that baby, and I'm hoping Stormy and Courtney will take their place. And that is all I've got on Love and Marriage Huntsville. If you want to be a part of the growing channel, hit that subscribe button for me. Don't forget about Black LITuations and the book club, and more information in the link in the description box. And I will check you out later. Take care.